I'm Craig Longnecker and welcome back to the Roots Cooking Show. Tonight what we're going to do an ode to St. Patrick's Day. We're going to do a pub meatloaf with carrots, green beans, potatoes, and sweet potatoes. So the first thing we have to do is preheat the oven. We're going for 375 and bake it for 1 hour. All of our ingredients that we're using for tonight's episode and every episode were purchased at Roots Country Market and Auction. After we preheat our oven, it's time to make our meatloaf. Our meatloaf is made with ground beef, which is 80% meat and 20% fat. It makes a real nice lean meatloaf. We also have onions, carrots, and green peppers, which we're going to put all in the meatloaf and give a nice kind of Irish flair to our pub meatloaf. And now it's time for our veggies. I'm going to need about a half a cup of each veggie. And the veggies are going to put the color into our Irish flag. We need some green, some orange, and some white. So I'm going to be chopping some carrots, chopping some green peppers, and then chopping some onions. And now we have our vegetables chopped. What we're going to do, add 2 pounds of our ground beef, 3 eggs, panko, and seasoning. And what I did with the onions and the green peppers that I didn't chop up and put in the mixture, I'm going to save those and saute for later. We're going to add 3 eggs to our meatloaf. Watch me crack this egg with one hand. Add about a cup of breadcrumbs, and the breadcrumbs are really going to absorb all the juices from the meat. Tablespoon of garlic powder, tablespoon of chili powder, salt and pepper, and please don't forget the salt. I almost did it this shoot and it just wouldn't be the same meatloaf without some salt. And now it's time to mix the meatloaf. And luckily for most of us, we were all born with 2 mixers, and those are called your hands, so use them. Now we're getting our meatloaf ready for the oven, and what we're going to do is we're going to take this regular baking pan, this is a loaf of bread pan, and we're going to line it with bacon. It's about 15 pieces of bacon, and then we're going to put in our meatloaf. And this is locally raised pork belly that actually was smoked in my uncle's smoker that he built this past summer. It's a hickory smoked bacon, and it's going to give the meatloaf a nice, real hearty smokiness. It's going to really complement the beef and the rest of the vegetables. During my trip to Europe, I spent some time in Ireland, and I met a chef in a small town in Galway in Western Ireland, and he told me this recipe after a long night on a short pier. Now we have our lining of bacon down on our baking sheet. So our next step is take our meatloaf and place it into the baking dish. And don't smear it to the sides quite yet, to the ends I mean. We're going to lay the ends with bacon. What the bacon's going to help do is naturally grease the pan and keep the meatloaf from sticking. It's just going to pop right out.
Aye, and do you know what makes everything better? Bacon?
And now we're going to bake our meatloaf. It's already preheated. It's going to take about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. Depends how powerful your oven is. Put that in there, and we're going to set a timer. And now we're going to do our vegetables. But hold on. I know you're thinking like, oh God, oh, vegetables are disgusting. I can't believe on a cooking show that's as awesome as this, you would do vegetables. You know what I'm saying? Vegetables not only are packed full of nutrients, but you can also buy them at Roots Country Market. And what we have is our carrots, our potatoes, and sweet potatoes. These are all root vegetables and are very easy to store. So these were harvested last fall, kept in cold storage during the winter, and now are being sold. They're still local, kind of fresh. They still are delicious and will taste like they just came out of the ground. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut up these 3 vegetables. We're going to quick blanch them. We're going to saute the carrots, mash the potatoes, and saute the sweet potatoes. We're blanching all the vegetables in salted boiling water. This is to help the vegetables when we saute them later to get done really quickly. Like a carrot, it's harder than like an onion and needs that kind of prep time, that prep cooking time to cook at an even time like a pepper or an onion. These are skinned potatoes. There's about 4 of them. You want about 1 per person. And these are going to make our mashed potatoes. Cube them about maybe like an inch square so they get done in about, boil them about 10 minutes. 10-15 minutes. I don't like waiting around for potatoes to boil. I get too anxious. So I like cutting them in smaller cubes. And a trick that my mom taught me was when potatoes or sweet potatoes or another root vegetable is done boiling, you can stick a fork in it. And when the fork slides out very nicely without picking up the potato is when the potato is done boiling. And then you know it's ready to be mashed. And now we're going to steam our green beans and our carrots. We're just going to put these right on top of our baked potatoes and our sweet potatoes that are boiling. I was really happy to see green beans this time of year because one of my earliest memories of walking around roots was with my great-grandmother. We would have little kind of green bean fights. We would break off the ends of them and we would like throw them at each other playfully. And it was just a really great memory, and it's something I always remember when I see green beans at roots. And just for a little luck, and now we're going to take our meatloaf out of the oven. And we're going to let it cool down right before we plate.
On the right side of my stove, I have potatoes boiling and green beans steaming. In the center, I have a creamy cabbage sauce. The top left, I'm sauteing carrots, green peppers, and onions. And now I'm adding sweet potatoes, and I'm going to saute them in a little bit of oil. And now we're mashing our boiled potatoes, adding some cream, some salt, and some pepper. And now I'm going to puree the cabbage that I added some cream to and some salt and pepper.
And now we're going to plate our vegetables. This is our mashed, sauteed sweet potatoes. And what I like to do with sweet potatoes is top it with a little bit of brown sugar. It just really melts into the sweet potatoes and really just melts in your mouth. And these are regular mashed potatoes. Just threw them with a little bit of cream, salt and pepper, and whipped them really nice. Now these are green beans, and we're going to finish plating our vegetables. We're going to put down about 8 per plate. And maybe you notice a theme occurring to how I'm starting to plate. Puts a little Irish in ya. And this is our finished meatloaf. And what I'm going to do is cut slabs. Some people like throwing their meatloaf from right out of the oven, like right onto a skillet or to a grill, and like get some nice like color. I like taking it right out of the oven because I really feel there's nothing more that I could do. And look at these vibrant colors inside the meatloaf. These are the green peppers and the carrots that we put in earlier. And now we're going to put on top of the meatloaf our carrots, green peppers, and onions that we saved from earlier. And we're just going to plate it right on top of the meatloaf. Get some of that nice green, white, and orange on top of the meatloaf. And our cabbage cream sauce to finish the dish. Woo! Finally, we're done. This is our pub meatloaf. Green beans, regular potatoes, and sweet potatoes. Look at that Irish flag. Alright, this has been Seamus O'Malley. This has been Craig Longnecker. Thank you for coming and joining us for the Roots Cooking Show, and happy St. Patrick's Day. Check us out on YouTube and on Facebook at rootscountrymarketandauction.com. On Tuesdays at Roots for a full list of ingredients and the recipe, come check us out in the office. Thank you.